Hello and welcome to section 4.4, which is on using corresponding parts of congruent triangles. And so here I have an example for you, a picture drawn of two triangles that are sharing a side basically down the middle. So I have given that triangle SPT, this one on the left, is congruent to triangle PTO, the one on the right. And I'm also saying that SP is congruent to OT. And I want to prove that angle S is congruent to angle O. I can start by saying a pair of sides and a pair of angles are given, because they are, right here. Since PT is equal to PT by the reflexive property, the triangle STP is congruent to triangle OPT by SAS, because I have a side, an angle, and a side on both of them that are congruent, corresponding sides and corresponding angles. So angle S is congruent to angle O because corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Angle S and angle O are corresponding angles, so they have to be equal if the triangle is congruent. So here I have an example, and this is a rather lengthy proof, but we'll go through it step by step. So given BA is congruent to BC, right here in my picture, and that BD bisects BD right here, bisects angle ABC, this angle right here, it's bisecting it. I want to prove that BD, this one, is perpendicular to AC, and I realize it looks like it, but you don't know for sure, and that BD bisects AC. So the first thing I'm going to do is give my two given statements. BA is congruent to BC, and BD bisects angle ABC. Those are both given right here. I gave you that information. So then the next logical step would be to say that angle ABD right here, is congruent to CBD. How do I know that? Because the given information is that BD is the bisector right here. So you know that this angle on this side has to equal this one. How do I know that? It's the definition of angle bisector. From there, I can say that BD is equal to BD because of the reflexive property. It has to be equal to itself. Then I'm going to say that triangle ABD on this side is congruent to triangle CBD on this side. How do I know? Because side, angle, side, side, angle, side, right? Property. ADB, so now we're talking about this one down here, is congruent to CDB. How do I know? Because corresponding parts of congruent triangles are equal. So this one has to equal this one. They're corresponding. They hold the same position. From there, I can say that ADB, this angle right here, and CDB are, there's more to it, supplementary, so they have to be right angles. Right? If they're saying this bisects, it's got to be right angles right there. Supplementary angles equal 180 degrees. That's my reason. BD is perpendicular to AC. How do I know? It's a definition of perpendicular lines. They make right angles when they meet. AD is congruent to CD, so this piece is congruent to this piece because corresponding parts of congruent triangles are equal. I know that those sides are equal because the other two sides equal. BD bisects AC. How do I know? It's a definition of angle bisector. Actually, it's the definition of, should be segment bisector. If you bisect something, a segment, it's cutting it in half. Okay? So there are lots of different things that you can do when you know that you have congruent figures. It doesn't necessarily even have to be a triangle. If you have any, congruent figures, you can use corresponding sides and corresponding angles to find what's missing on one of them by using the information given on the other one. So keep that in mind and bring that information with you to class. We'll talk about it next time I see you. Have a good night.